Hello, I'm going to read a book, Changed Ones.
This.
Of all the Etdada who wandered Nern, Trinimac was the strongest. He, for a very long time, fooled Aldmeri into thinking that tears were the best response to the sundering. They cried and shamed our ancestors, especially the feminine Altmer. They even took the missing god's name in vain, calling his narratives into question. So one day Boathai, Prince of Plots, cautious youth, tricked Trinimac to go into his mouth. Boathai talked like Trinimac for a while, then, and gathered enough people to listen to him. Boathai showed them the lies of the Adada, the Aedra, and told them Trinimac was the biggest liar of all, saying all this was Trinimac's voice. Boathai told the mass before him the triangle truth he showed them with Mafala. The rules of physic endeavor. He taught them how to build houses and what items they needed to bury in the corners. He demonstrated the right way to wear their skin. He performed the way to walk to achieve an exodus. Then Boathai relieved himself of Trinimac right there on the ground before them to prove all the things he said were the truth. It was easy then for his new people to become the changed ones. Children of the Allmaker by Tharston of Solitude. If the title of this text rings familiar, then perhaps you, like me, have had the great pleasure to become acquainted with a most remarkable people, the Skala Solstheim. Upon first meeting these gentle wild folk, I was immediately impressed with their great hospitality. They welcomed me into their homes, one and all, without the slightest hint of suspicion or uncertainty. Trust, it seems, comes readily to the Skull. In appearance, the Skull are clearly of Northern ancestry. However, they are culturally distinct in several significant ways. The most notable of which is their faith, having never adopted the pantheon of the empire. The Skull recognize only a single deity, whom they call the Allmaker. For the Skull, the Allmaker is the source of all life and creation. When a creature dies, its spirit returns to the Allmaker, who shapes it into something new and returns it to Mundus. The concept of death as an ending to life is unknown to the Skull. Rather, death is seen as simply the beginning of the next stage of an endless journey. This great respect for life is evident in one of the most important Skull beliefs, a concept the villagers call oneness with the land. The Skull try to live in harmony with their surroundings, making as small an impact on their environment as possible. When a Skull villager sets out to collect firewood, for example, he or she takes it from fallen, dead trees. When the Skull hunt, it is only out of necessity and not for sport, because they hold all life in great reverence. The Skull people resort to violence only as a last resort. This has understandably led to a rather austere lifestyle for these simple, good-natured folk. For the Skull, the word luxury is nearly an alien concept, though I was intrigued to note that one villager, Aldla, has taken to trading basic goods with travelers who pass through the village in exchange for small luxury items. Such an enterprising outlook is something of a novelty for the Skull. Though it saddens me to conclude this account on such a somber note, it is impossible to deny the hard truth that the Skull people are dwindling. In a century or two, it is possible that their unique way of life will be lost to the world forever, reduced to little more than a footnote in the great epic of history. This comes as little surprise given the immense hardships of a life lived in such an extreme environment. For the Skull, it is a daily struggle to survive the perpetual wintry climate of northern Solstheim, but other challenges have recently appeared. The ashfall from Vardenfell have taken its toll on the plants and animals upon which the Skull depend for their survival, and life is now a struggle for all who call Solstheim home. Therefore, I humbly beseech any students of history who might encounter this modest text to travel to Solstheim and learn all that can be learned of this noble people and their ancient customs. The Skull people might not be long for this world, but let us assure that their proud and noble legacy lasts well into the future. children of the sky. Nords consider themselves to be the children of the sky. They call SKYRIM the throat of the world, because it is where the sky exhaled on the land and formed them. They see themselves as eternal outsiders and invaders, and even when they conquer and rule another people, they feel no kinship with them. The breath and the voice are the vital essence of a Nord. When they defeat great enemies, they take their tongues as trophies. These are woven into ropes and can hold speech like an enchantment. The power of a Nord can be articulated into a shout like the kai of an Akaviri swordsman. The strongest of their warriors are called tongues. When the Nords attack a city, they take no siege engine or cavalry. The tongues form a wedge in front of the gatehouse and draw in breath. When a leader lets it out in a kai, the doors are blown in and the axemen rush into the city. Shouts can be used to sharpen blades or to strike enemies. A common effect is a shout that knocks an enemy back, or the power of command. A strong Nord can instill bravery in men with his battle cry, or stop a charging warrior with a roar. The greatest of the Nords can call to specific people over hundreds of miles, and can move by casting a shout appearing where it lands. The most powerful Nords cannot speak without causing destruction. They must go gagged and communicate through a sign language and through scribing runes. The further north you go into SKYRIM, the more powerful and elemental the people become, and the less they require dwellings and shelters. Wind is fundamental to SKYRIM and the Nords. Those that live in the far ways always carry a wind with them.